Well, tributes are continuing to trickle in for the departed Queen Elizabeth II. The body of Her Majesty will lie in state for 4 days. The UK's longest-serving monarch died on Thursday, aged 96. Now, yesterday, Charles III was proclaimed king at a ceremony in London. Let's bring in our correspondent, Ollie Barrett, to take us through the procession of the Queen's coffin. And he joins us from London this morning. Thank you so much, Ollie, as always, for just giving us an update in terms of just some of the developments that have been happening thus far. We saw King Charles III being proclaimed in quite an elaborate service yesterday. And from now on, it's about the proceedings now to follow to actually lead the late Queen to her final resting place. Can you just take us through exactly what is to be anticipated over the next few days?
That's right. Today is really about the Queen's coffin moving in a hearse from Balmoral, the estate where she was spending time and where she died on Thursday. And that coffin will drive in that hearse through the streets of Scotland to Edinburgh. It will take several hours to get there. We think 4, 5, 6 hours, much longer than it normally would take to drive that route, because the palace is very aware that people will line the route to try and see the coffin and get a glimpse of the hearse as it moves and pay their respects and pay tribute to the Queen as she moves through the streets. So that will be something that's very much facilitated by officials. When the coffin gets to Edinburgh, it will lie in rest there, and then on Monday there will be a special service in Edinburgh which will be attended by the King. We're told that Princess Anne, the Queen's sister, will effectively accompany the coffin on its route south, so partly on the way to Edinburgh, and then later in the week, Tuesday is according to the schedule, when that coffin will make its way back to London, where it will lie in state in Westminster for 4 days before the funeral, right up until the morning of the funeral, which has now been confirmed as the 19th of September. That will be the day of the state funeral. We had not yet had that date. We thought it might be on the Monday. But the King, in that proclamation ceremony that you mentioned, confirmed that that Monday, the 19th of September, would be a public holiday. That will take place on the Monday, so that many people will be able to head to London if they want to be there on the day.
It almost appears as though it's almost some sort of cognitive dissonance, right? So on one side, you're celebrating the dawn of a new era, right? In this case, King Charles, who's been, in the waiting area, one would say, if you have to be very colloquial about it, for quite a long period of time. And after that ceremony takes place, when there's supposed to be some kind of jubilation in terms of what is to come back, to come of it, then you have to go in through this process of mourning, right? Now, also mourning the end of a serious, significant era. It's almost putting, the people and the citizens, it's almost such a, I don't know whether to be happy, I don't know whether to be sad, because as much as it's the rise of a new era, it's also the passing of an era that has been literally in front of all of us for the past 70 years.
That's one of the things about the proclamation ceremony, exactly, which was yesterday, is that it felt optimistic and positive at points. But that's also part of the reason that we don't yet have a coronation. So yes, Charles is king. He was from the moment that the Queen passed away. But yesterday we had that proclamation ceremony to effectively see the organs of the state saying that they accept and acknowledge and welcome the fact that King Charles is now the incoming monarch, and announce that to the public. And there were various renditions of God Save the King, and during that ceremony all the flags that have been at half-mast at royal buildings and government buildings were raised to full-mast, a sign, as you exactly say, of optimism and positivity about the future. But as soon as that ceremony had ended, the flags were put down to half-mast again. And as I say, the coronation, that will be a much more positive affair, and it won't take place until a few weeks, if not a few months, after the funeral has happened. And that part of the reason for that is so that that can be a much more celebratory affair, to try and separate out those two periods of mourning and also the new king being welcomed into his spot.
Well, I think right now the biggest also issues around maintaining a united front where the family is concerned. I'm sure there's a lot of media speculation, especially about the children of King Charles, William and Harry, as well as their wives. I know that a lot of media attention was paid close to them when they obviously went outside of the gates just to have a look at the tributes and to meet the people. But how significant is it at this moment in time for the family to look united, irrespective of the media speculation and even the issues around one such a Prince Andrew and the like, which is not going away anytime soon, is it?
Not going away anytime soon. We did see Andrew yesterday. He was part of a royal party that went to a service up in Balmoral in Scotland. I don't think we'll be hearing much from him anytime soon. That has been made pretty clear, we understand, to him by now King Charles and William as well. So we may see more of Prince Andrew as he mourns the loss of his mother, but I don't think we're going to be hearing much from him if the other senior royals have their way. When it comes to Harry, Meghan, William and Catherine, we knew that they were all in Windsor, I say together, we're all in Windsor in their houses. That is where Harry and Meghan have a place and where they spend time when they're in the UK. That is now where William and Kate live, having moved there just recently because their children go to school nearby. So we knew that they would all be in Windsor at the same time. We didn't know if they were in contact or whether they were talking. We don't know exactly how relations are. But yesterday in Windsor, outside the castle, people had gathered. We were in the town at the time. Security started to move barriers around and there was a little bit of activity among security officers, and when that happens, people who were at palaces and castles know that something might be about to happen. They did not at all expect that that something would be the four of them walking out of the grounds of the castle together, looking at all those tributes and then doing a 40-minute or so walkabout of the crowds outside. There were huge cheers. People were very, very pleased to see them. We're told that William had asked Harry to go and do it, and we're told that Harry accepted pretty quickly. There are also the reports that there were pretty intense negotiations behind the scenes about exactly how it would unfold. Body language experts are having an absolute field day looking at the two couples, working out quite what terms that they are on at the moment. And yes, absolutely, it's clearly significant. They wanted to do this to show unity after the death of the Queen. We, of course, don't know what it means from here. Are they actually on good terms, or did they just decide to go for a wander together to put on a united front at this particular moment in time? We will very much have to wait and see on that one.
I know that, Ollie, it's definitely sleepless nights as we build up to the 19th of September. So hang in there as well as you bring us the latest developments coming in from the UK. Our UK correspondent, Ollie Barrett, with the latest there from Buckingham Palace.